Coming to you every Monday to Friday at 19:30 hours. Primetime News is your leading and factual source of all developments taking place within and beyond Namibian borders. This is the Thursday edition, beaming from our Aerospark studios in Windhoek. Many thanks for joining me. I'm Michael Madimba. Leading tonight's bulletin, the United Nations General Assembly's 35th plenary meeting of the 78th session on Wednesday observed a moment of silence in honor of the late President Dr. Hage Geingob, who died aged 82 on Sunday in Windhoek. Here are some of the tributes from the UN General Assembly.
The tributes from his fellow African leaders hail him as an icon of liberation and a powerful voice for Africa and African unity. Excellencies, democracy, self-determination and human rights for all animated the life and work of President Geingob. Today these values are under attack. Around the world, international law is being flouted, human rights are being trampled, authoritarianism is on the rise, and inequality is rife. And as we pay tribute to the memory of President Geingob, let us commit to honoring the values that he stood for. By fighting racism, misogyny and injustice, by standing up for human rights, and by working to build a more equal world in which no one is left behind.
His impassioned advocacy for sustainable development and renewable energy earned him admiration and respect on the world stage, a vision that extended well beyond his country's borders, as evidenced by Namibia's green hydrogen sector. He will always be remembered for representing Namibia in these very halls, including as a petitioner to the Fourth Committee during the dark days of colonialism, articulating the aspirations of the Namibian people for a free and democratic Namibia.
Staying with President Geingob's passing, a former president of the Democratic Republic of the Congo, Joseph Kabila, on Wednesday paid his respects to the late former Namibian head of state, Dr. Hage Geingob, during a visit to former First Lady Monica Geingob. More from this insert.
Kabila is the second African leader to visit the former First Lady after Geingob's passing in a Windhoek hospital on Sunday. Signing the book of condolences at the couple's residence, he wrote, "May the fond memories and laughter that characterize President Geingob's life be a comfort and solace for the family and the Namibian nation for the years to come." Mourners from all walks of life are visiting the Geingob residence, including Ondonga Traditional Authority leader Philemon Shumbwa Nangolo, Popular Democratic Movement leader McHenry Venani, Affirmative Repossession Movement leader Job Amupanda, and other dignitaries.
Because we have a respectable constitution that is lauded across the globe, and that he played a cardinal role in chairing the first Constituent Assembly and the Constitution Committee. Because of that constitution, we are respected. Because of his contribution, we are respected. And two things must happen that we haven't done. We must thank our armed forces, and I want to thank, using you, to thank the army for the diligent manner that they have handled this transition. In other countries, when the army sees this vacuum, they grab power. Power was not grabbed, the political order took root, and we must thank our armed forces for that professional conduct.
For Primetime News, I'm George Hendricks.
From the nerve center of the Commerce region to the Irongo region, where a 20-year-old woman was arrested at Wabash Bay on charges of murder after she reportedly suffocated a newborn baby with a cloth. Isabel Bento filed the story.
Irongo Regional Community Policing Officer Warrant Tuenike Lautashia said the woman allegedly gave birth to the baby boy around 6 p.m. on Tuesday at Tutaleni residential area and thereafter suffocated him by tying a cloth around his face. This baby's boy was transported to the police mortuary for a post-mortem, and the suspect is currently admitted to a hospital for medical treatment under police guard. She is expected to appear in court once discharged. Police investigation is ongoing. Daniela Isaacs reporting for Primetime News.
Up next is your top roundup with the business segment thereafter. The Primetime Biz segment unpacks all things business and economics, and leading tonight's segment. Namibia's Consulate General in Cape Town, Selma Nginamundova, says Namibia is among the nations that possess some of the most sought-after minerals worldwide. She made the remarks at the Investing in Africa mining endeavor taking place in Cape Town, South Africa. The conference commenced on Monday and concluded today.
Nginamundova said that Namibia remains one of the most prospective jurisdictions for lithium, graphite, cobalt, rare earth metals, and other minerals that are considered critical inputs in green technologies by many countries around the world. Nginamundova, speaking on the behalf of Mines and Energy Minister Tom Alwendo, said Namibia is also endowed with natural wind and solar resources, adding that Namibia is among the most competitive destinations in the world with potential to become a producer and exporter of green hydrogen. According to Nginamundova, Namibia has seen a rise in interest in its critical minerals, which presents a chance to derive better value from its mineral resources for the benefit of the country. Konjeni Ambinga, reporting for Primetime News.
On to a developing story we've been tracking during the course of this week. The German trade union Verdi earlier today revealed that 27-hour strike by Lufthansa ground staff has ended. Now, the strike, which began on Wednesday morning, still led to some flight cancellations today. Here's the story by DPA.
Operations were brought largely to a halt at 5 German airports on Wednesday as airport ground staff walked off their job as part of an ongoing wage dispute with the country's largest airline. Lufthansa cancelled around 30 departures from Munich and Frankfurt this morning before the end of the industrial action. Operations are expected to return to normal by Friday at the latest. Verdi negotiator Marvin Reschinski said around 7,000 people took part in the strikes at the Frankfurt, Munich, Hamburg, Dusseldorf and Berlin sites. In the wage dispute, Verdi is demanding 12.5% more pay with 500 euros per month for 1 year. In addition, there is to be a group-wide inflation bonus of 3,000 euros. Lufthansa has offered a 13% pay raise and an inflation bonus over 3 years. The next round of negotiations is scheduled for Monday. Konjeni Ambinga, reporting for Primetime News.
This is where the top segment concludes for tonight. Up next is Friday's countrywide weather forecast, followed by a summary of the latest economic news. The Sport Planet is a segment dedicated to all things sport in action. AFCON Action kickstarts tonight's segment. The substitute forward Kelechi Iheanacho and goalkeeper Stanley Nwabali played key roles as Nigeria beat South Africa 4-2 on penalties on Wednesday in an Africa Cup of Nations semi-final thriller. Now, Nigeria triumphed after a 1-0 draw for an extra time in Bouake, and the latest of many dramatic matches at this biennial African football showpiece. Now, for post-match sentiments from the respective coaches, let's listen in.
The players are happy. They deserve. We deserve. The Nigerian people deserve. The Super Eagles deserve. It was a very good victory against a very good team.
Football can be hard. When you see the performance of my team today, and then there is penalties, and then you lose the game, you're not in the final. It's hard to accept that because we played a very good game today. I think we were the best team in the first half. We had the best chances. Nigeria didn't have one chance. No, nothing.
Nigeria are three-time champions and will face hosts Ivory Coast, who dominated the Democratic Republic of Congo, but had to settle for a 1-0 win in Abidjan in the final on Sunday. Staying atop football, a former Manchester United and England midfielder Jesse Lingard said he wanted to enjoy playing football again after signing for South Korea's FC Seoul earlier today. The 31-year-old has been without a club since leaving Nottingham Forest at the end of the contract last summer. Lingard, who spent 22 years at United before leaving Old Trafford in 2022, said joining Seoul was a new challenge and he was ready to accept it. Your sports roundup is up next. Stay tuned. This is where the Primetime News Midweek edition concludes. Make a date with me tomorrow as we wrap up this week's happenings. Before I part, a reminder for you to follow the on-screen prompts so you stay abreast of events at home and abroad. From myself, Michael Madimba, and my entire creative team behind the scenes, it's good night.